Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Take Care and Live podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Stephen, and I'm glad to be with you today. You know, we have a lot of things that are vying for our attention. I talk about this all the time, but we often get so caught up in our interests that we don't commit enough time to making what we're interested in something that can actually enhance our life. And for that matter, make other people's lives better. There are 3 V's that you need to know and have working in your life if you want to turn what has simply been an interest into something that will actually enhance your life. They are values, vision, and velocity. Values, vision, and velocity. Now, values, they're your guiding principles. They're those beliefs that you hold. They're the standards that you live by. They guide your decision making. Your values are the reasons why you say yes to some things and no to others. Your values are why you tolerate certain kinds of relationships or interactions or circumstances and why you don't. Your values guide your beliefs about what is important, what you do with your time, what you do with your energy, and what you do with your resources. Your values shape how you engage people and the world. Your values help to keep you on track about what is important and what is not. Now, your personal values can take different lenses. They can be in a personal life, for example, they can be reflective of someone who's committed to being fiscally responsible. If you're someone who's committed to be financially responsible, and maybe your value is to be someone who demonstrates courage in the midst of challenging situations and just as a principle to act courageously in everything that you do. Maybe a personal principle of yours is faith, living by faith, where other people find it very difficult to take a risk and to believe that something is possible. You've committed to live a life of faith. Those can be examples of personal values. Maybe you have values that look like this in your marriage. Honesty, a commitment to honesty, to being honest with one another, being honest with yourself about how you are engaging in your relationship. Maybe it's forgiveness. I hope it is one of them, because Lord knows you'll need it, right? Forgiveness, forgiveness for others toward your spouse, and forgiveness of yourself when you have not behaved or acted in a way that was becoming, right? That really could have been better than it was. That's a value. Your values bring you back to center. They hold you accountable to what really matters for you in your relationship to self and others. Another value in marriage could be affection and intimacy, that you don't just allow yourself to get hijacked by other people's time and agendas, but you're intentional about making time for one another so that you can talk, spend time with each other, not be dictated to by all the other world's demands. Those are examples of what values can look like in a marriage. Maybe in your work life, a value is being results oriented, or someone who is committed to giving their attention deeply and with great focus. That when you put your hands to a task, you want to make sure you're doing it until it's done and doing it well. That's a value in connection to your work. Maybe it's someone who is determined to be an ethical decision maker, that no matter what might look appealing or what people might try to tempt you with as an opportunity, if it's not ethical, if it violates yourself and others, if it causes you to undermine what you believe is right, because you're an ethical decision maker, you don't participate in it. So your values help to shape how you engage the world and others. Okay. Now, vision. Let's talk about vision. Your vision, as I've talked about this before in a previous episode, when I differentiate between dreams, having a dream and having a vision. A dream is an aspiration, but a vision is a tool for implementation. A vision is a strategic map. It's a set of deliberate steps you're going to take to turn that mental picture, that dream you have, into reality. It's action oriented, it's intentional, it's specific, and it's deliberate. It's that strategic map. you need to have a vision for what it is you're going to do if you're going to make that activity or that relationship turn into something that is a passive interest, into something that can actually add value to your life and others. You need to have a vision for it. And then finally, there's velocity. Now, you say velocity, where does this come from? Velocity has everything to do and is very much connected to both your values and your vision. Velocity is not about speed. Velocity, in fact, is about the rate in which you're making progress towards a specific goal. Velocity is the measure to determine if you're actually achieving the goal or plan or objective or outcome that you set to achieve. So if you don't know what your vision is, and if your vision isn't grounded in a clear set of values that help keep how you use your time, your energy, and tangible resources in a way that aligns with your vision, if you don't have values that help support your vision, that strategy that you have in place for your own personal life or even for your organization or team, well, then you won't be clear about your velocity. Velocity is about being clear about your intended outcome. It's not just about movement, it's about knowing I have a plan to move from this organization to build my own business in this sector. And I have, because of the vision that I've created for it, I've mapped out what will represent my successful transition from where I am now to where I'm going to be as the person starting his or her own business. And the time that I'm spending in commitment to it helps to determine the progress that I'm making. So velocity is not speed. It is the rate at which you're making progress to a very specific outcome or destination that you intended. And you can't do that without having a clear vision. So you need values, vision, and velocity at work if you're going to move from being someone who's just engaging in an assortment of interests to someone who can whittle it down to making a few key interests, things that you want to make an enhancement in your life so that it improves not just the quality of your life, but because you've improved the quality of your life, you're actually helping to make other people's lives better because they're connected to you. So I hope this was helpful. This was a setup for a series we're going to engage in on what it means to be a person who lives with a focus on enhancing their life rather than being obsessed or managed by a series of interests. There are people who are serial interest engagers, people who engage in a whole lot of things, but not with a clear purpose. When you have clear values, when you have a specific vision for what it is you're looking to achieve, and when you can actually identify and begin to track the rate in which you're making progress towards that vision or that goal, then you're someone who's being intentional with their life, and you are someone who is clearing a pathway for being intentional about how you're using your time, your energy, and your tangible resources. I hope that was helpful. I'm excited about the series we're about to kick off. I'm inviting you to like and subscribe to this podcast. You could also check out my website, takecareandlive.com, where you can learn more about my book, get access to prior episodes, as well as on all streaming services and YouTube. And in the meantime, I want you to do what I encourage us to do each and every time we connect with one another, and that's to take care and live.